Alex Kantrowitz, as I said, is here. We'll get to Apple in a minute, but I want you to react to what Kate said on Amazon. 17.6% consensus growth estimate for AWS. Kate said, well, that number is probably a little bit higher now after what Microsoft did. What's your expectation and what you think is the most important thing to watch for?
Microsoft definitely put the pressure on Amazon after the earnings report that we just saw from that company. So I think 20% growth for AWS is massive. It's going to be hard for them to hit it. But I think what the Microsoft earnings results underscore and the expectations for Amazon underscores is the economy was actually in quite good shape in Q1. So I do expect to see Amazon benefit from that. Now, the only overhang for Amazon is they didn't have the OpenAI models in the way that Microsoft has. Now, I know AI isn't driving all the spend in cloud, but that is important. When companies think about the way that they're going to expand, they're thinking about that. So Microsoft could be in better shape than Amazon on that front. The most important thing I'm looking for with Amazon is what they're going to say about the ad spend. There could have been a rush of people buying products at the beginning of this quarter, or this current quarter that we're in, because they're anticipating the tariffs will send the price up. So retail numbers might look good in Q2, but I really want to hear from this company what is going to happen with advertising, because that's a full quarter thing. And if they have such exposure to China, both in terms of third-party sellers, but also the other sellers in the United States that are importing from China, that could actually hamper ad spend. And that is an extremely important number for Amazon because it's super high margin.
I feel like people forget when they talk about AI with this company, it's always about Microsoft and OpenAI, but they have the big investment in Anthropic. And I'd like to hear more about that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. And Anthropic models are available within AWS. So if you want to build an AI application, you're going to go into AWS, you can select Anthropic, you could select DeepSeek, and you could be in good shape to build. But I do think, just from my perspective, model quality, the lead has shifted again to OpenAI. The sheen has shifted to OpenAI. And remember, they have hundreds of millions of users of ChatGPT, and a lot of people that are using ChatGPT are doing it in a professional sense, and that influences the decision they make in terms of the models they want to build on. But Anthropic is definitely not a weak company.
Yeah.
I mean, their models are good.
Okay, now Apple. The stock's run up into the number, which always seems to raise the bar just a little bit. There are multi-pronged problems here, too, related to the trade war and tariffs and China. What are you watching for most here?
I mean, the biggest thing for Apple is China demand. China made up 17% of Apple revenue last year. And you could tax or you could tariff all the exports coming out of China all you want. But Apple was already coming into this moment where demand from China was hurting. And that contributed to a number of quarters where revenue growth was stagnant or even declining. And now you're going to see growth again this quarter. That's good. But ultimately, this is the first moment we're going to hear Tim Cook speak about what the impact of tariffs are on his company. If that 17% ends up becoming 15, 14% of Apple revenue. If it doesn't grow the way that this company is expecting, that's a big problem because we're only going to see 3-4% growth from Apple, maybe 5% at the high end in this quarter that they're reporting. If you have a serious decline in China, then you could go back to revenue stagnation. That's not the place you want to be if you're Apple.
You think we hear significant commentary on iPhone demand, potential pricing issues for the iPhone related to these tariffs?
I think so. And I think that last year, around this time, we saw a massive buyback from Apple. I don't think they're going to want to go to the market and say we're going to raise prices, because if they do, demand's going to go down, and we already know they've had this demand issue. So my expectation is maybe if there is a buyback, it's a smaller buyback, or we don't see a buyback, and they keep the move for Apple would be, hey, keep those prices the same so that, you know, this might blow over and you might be able to keep selling the way that you want to, because that services segment is important. And if you buy the iPhone, the price, whatever, you're going to be contributing to services revenue, and that is important for Apple.
Update.